protein chips. If it says chips, what do you think about?
So we'd say crisp, so I'd assume a potato.
Potato. Okay, let's read the label. Protein blend, vegetable oil, calcium caseinate, corn starch. It doesn't even have potato, man!
No potato
No
in it.
potato! No potato!
Wow.
Okay, the world has went protein mad. It's mad, I tell you. Now, before we watch this video, what I would like you to do is to comment and tell me if it's going crazy where you are. What country are you in for a start? And secondly, is protein everywhere? I think this is a global phenomenon, if I'm right. Yes, you can get the bars and the cookies like you always could, but now there's protein cereal, there's protein water for God's sake, and there's protein coffee. We're going to watch a little bit of a Channel 4, a brand new Channel 4 documentary on this, on all these protein snacks, and I'm going to give my opinion on this, and it's not very good. So let's watch this. We'll watch the intro first, and then we'll skip to the important part.
It's been on our plates for centuries, but now, all of a sudden, everywhere you look, there's protein.
Protein cereals, protein yogurts, protein breads, protein waters, even protein beers. The stuff is absolutely everywhere, topping cookbook charts, filling newspapers, and totally taking over social media.
Only 50 calories with 7 grams of protein.
Supermarkets are saying the search for high-protein foods has doubled in the last year alone. So if you thought we'd reach peak protein mania, think again.
And with the global protein supplements market worth at least a staggering £20 billion, it's no wonder the big brands are doing everything they can to convince us we need more and more of it.
But what's really in these products? How much do we actually need? Are we just fixating on a problem that doesn't even exist?
I'm Gemma Atkinson, and I'm completely fascinated by how we can make the right health and well-being choices for us and our families.
Do you want some yogurt, Tiago?
Now join me and a gang of nutritional mythbusters.
We are making a protein dirty soda.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Sounds gross. Okay, just a little thing before we skip to the important part. She said, are we focusing on a problem that doesn't exist? Yes. Folks, the manufacturers have to sell you a problem first, then they'll come along and solve the problem. The problem that doesn't really exist. It's not difficult to get enough protein. Our body's needs for protein are actually quite low. Unless you lift and you want to build muscle, you will need more. Even then, it's not that difficult. They create a problem, make it seem like I'm not getting enough protein, then they sell you the solution. Do not fall for it. Okay, let's skip to the part that I think is important about here.
Is worth it.
Okay, so here we are. Let's break it down. Let's separate the protein fact from protein fiction.
So we have bread. The one that's claiming high in protein has 12.9 grams of protein. Mm-hmm. The one not high in protein has 11.9. So 1 gram of protein's difference. The one that is claiming to be high in protein is 37.5% more expensive.
For the sake of 1 gram of protein.
Exactly.
And calories, it's the same anyway.
Exactly the
isn't it?
same calories per 100 grams. I don't think it's worth it.
So what is next?
So now we have flapjack.
Okay.
I guess protein flapjack might come with a health halo that it's high in protein. It will give me energy.
Oats. It's healthy, no? Oats?
It's oats, yeah. But now I'm going to give you an interesting fact. We have Krispy Kremes, right? And
I love Krispy Kreme.
But comparing Krispy Kreme to the flapjack, actually the flapjack has more calories and more sugar than a Krispy Kreme. Bom, bom, bom.
But that again is the marketing of that.
Exactly. It's something to have occasionally if you like it. It's not a replacement of a healthy thing, right? I have a product that will blow your mind. Okay. So protein chips. If it says chips, what do you think about?
So we'd say crisp, so I'd assume a potato.
Potato. Okay, let's read the label. Protein blend, vegetable oil, calcium caseinate, corn starch. It doesn't even have potato, man!
No potato
No
in
potato!
it.
No potato!
Wow.
And it's about 3 quid.
3 quid for a bag.
3 quid for this aired bag.
Okay.
But we have peanuts. I mean, if we compare how we use chips or crisps and peanuts, it's a salty snack, right?
Yeah, I like a peanut.
So in this bag, you would have about 19 grams of protein for about £3. To get 19 grams of protein from peanuts, it would cost 60p.
Wow, that's a massive saving.
So if you come across those high-protein cereals, snacks and treats, keep an eye out for protein washing. It's the cunning branding that can make us think we're better off buying ultra-processed products, when it's usually more nutritious to get our protein from whole foods.
But I think the one thing that we can take from this is to always check the label,
Yeah.
the back, not just the front. Be mindful of clever marketing.
Yeah.
And
Mind your pocket.
mind your pocket, yeah. Thank you.
Great.
Right, okay, just to recap from earlier, protein is one of
Okay, one thing they didn't mention there is that in order to qualify legally your product as a high protein product, it needs to be a certain percentage of the calories coming from protein. So one trick that the marketers do is, without actually increasing the protein, they reduce calories from other things. So if there's sugar, perhaps they'll take the sugar out and use artificial sweetener or sugar alcohols, and they'll find ways to reduce perhaps the fat intake. Now, what does that mean? That means that as a percentage of the total calories, the protein is now higher. I forget what the exact percentage is they need to be over, but as soon as they break over that threshold, it can now legally be called a high protein product. So it goes on the shelf and it says protein across the front, and people think, oh, high protein, I'll buy this. There is no more protein in it than there used to be in the regular product. It's just as a percentage of the calories, protein is a higher percentage. You get it? So that's a little trick that they play. So I have some notes here that I want to go through and tell you why I'm not a fan of these. I don't recommend them. And first of all, the quality of the protein isn't necessarily good. Now, if you're someone that lifts, you want the best quality protein, meaning the best amino acid profile. It needs to be a complete protein. It needs to have all the amino acids in good quantities. What these brands do a lot of the times is they use poor quality protein. I think people might think they're getting like a whey protein product every time they buy a protein bar. A lot of the times these are pea protein or rice protein, or it's a blend, and you're not getting the highest quality protein that you think you're getting. Secondly, they use a lot of collagen, okay? So that collagen is a protein. It counts towards the protein grams, but if you buy something with 20 grams of protein and let's say 10 of those are collagen, those 10 grams will not contribute towards muscle growth, because collagen specifically does not work towards building muscle. It might be good for your skin, it might be good for your joints, but it does nothing for your muscle. So that's another little trick. They bump up the protein number with inferior proteins. Don't fall for it. Okay, next thing is, a lot of the inferior proteins have a low leucine count. Now, if a protein is a bunch of amino acids, the most critical amino acid in that is called leucine. And when they use these inferior proteins, they're low in an amino acid called leucine specifically. So it'll do little to nothing to promote muscle growth anyway. So watch out for that. If you're buying one of these bars, I don't recommend you do bars, cereal, whatever. If it's predominantly from whey protein, it's probably okay. The problem is a lot of them aren't. Okay, next point. So many people complain about ultra processed foods. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. You need to get off these type of foods. However, the same people buy protein bars, protein water, protein coffee. There's protein beer if you want it. All sorts of treats and sweet things full of sugar alcohols and just a bunch of weird ingredients. These are all highly ultra processed foods. So I don't get the contradiction here. You're into a healthy lifestyle, so you don't eat donuts and I don't know, cookies and all this stuff, but you eat protein bars. Make it make sense. Next thing, the protein that you get calorie for calorie is lower. If I want to get 30 grams of protein, I can eat, say, 100 grams of chicken breast. That's 3.5 ounces, and I get 30 grams of protein. It will cost very little, by the way, as well. But calorie for calorie, 100 grams of chicken breast, let's say a max of 150 calories. There is no protein bar on this planet that will give you 30 grams of really high quality protein. They typically will give you maybe 20, and it won't be high quality, and it'll cost you about £3. So calorie for calorie, and also, you know, it's just being cheaper. Real food will always win. So you get more protein, less total calories, it's cheaper, and the ultra processed food is more expensive. So this doesn't make any sense. The next one is, if you're like me and on a low fat diet, there's hidden fats in all these things. They make them with oils and even nut butters. I don't eat any nut butters. I don't think they're healthy. I know a lot of people think they are. They're not. And they typically use, it's usually palm oil, if you notice. So the fat content of these bars is actually, for someone like us, for people in our community, there might be 10 grams of fat in some protein bar. I eat 10 grams of fat in a day, for God's sake, so I can't eat these. They do tend to swap out sugar for sugar alcohols. I don't think sugar alcohols are particularly healthy, not to mention you'll get bloating, gas, and maybe diarrhea from the sugar alcohols. And just the fact that these are highly palatable foods. I remember years ago when I would eat these, I couldn't eat one really. It was difficult to stop at one because you eat one and you just want to eat another one and another one and another one. So the calories are stacking up. You know, 3 bars or something, you're pushing 1,000 calories, and you've had a bunch of absolute shit and loads of fat and loads of weird, unnatural ingredients. And I just think it helps reinforce bad habits. You're swapping one candy bar for another one, essentially. They're not health products. And just to go back to the expense, it's so cheap to eat quality protein. If you just buy raw, lean meats, or you want to buy a whey protein isolate, or even a soy protein isolate, that's fine. If you're getting your protein from these snacks, you are wasting a lot of money. Your grocery bill is far higher than it needs to be. Just stay away from them. So yeah, they're just candy bars with a little bit of extra whey or a little bit of extra collagen. And sometimes they don't even have extra anything. They've just reduced the sugar and the fat so that as a percentage of the overall calories, there's more protein. It's a trick. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that, because people ask me what I think of these products every now and again. Can we include those in our diet? I suppose if you can make it work in your macros and calories, I wouldn't recommend it though. I think they're shit, bottom line. So until next time, I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it.